Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steele, and I hope you've brought your paints and your model with me. Today I will be painting this Genestealer Aberrant, the specialty one with the stop sign, well, sign of some sorts, but his nickname is Stop Sign. I based him with Wraithbone spray by Citadel. Because yes, I am absolutely going to be using some contrast paints on him. Look at him. Genestealer cults were my first kill team army, and I never did get a chance to finish painting them, so I am happy to work on him now. Now, stop sign. So I was inspired by one of the White Dwarf entries. It was a September one, and her name was Darcy Bono. She submitted some. There was a picture of her orcs in there, and they were all ice themed, and I thought that was really nice. So I'm doing them inspired off her orcs. I have no idea how she painted them, though she did send me a pretty link of how she did the axes. He's not going to have one, but the other ones, I'll be doing her video of ice axes, so I'll link that down into the video here. But yeah, it was inspired on her orcs, and in that video that I linked to, you'll be able to see her work as well, because it was absolutely inspired by that. So his base skin will be the Space Wolves Gate grey contrast, but then he's going to have highlights and shadows while it's all wet, so it all blends together nicely. So that is just going on all of his skin. And I'm just using a base brace to do that. Played a few campaign games with them. Oh, I think I'll skip that. Oh, I'm gonna do this a little bit different to get that. Where his muscles are showing through, I'm gonna do a different color. So I want to keep them clean. Oh, the contrast paint really shows off his face really well. I don't know if you can see it while it's wet, but you can really see all the wrinkles and stuff in his face. Now, while it's still wet, we want to go to Ultramarines Blue, Contrast Ultramarines Blue, and more carefully now, get the underside of him. Anything that is facing even mildly downwards, going to darken up with Ultramarines Blue. And if at this point I can't see his face as well, I'm not too concerned, because I'm going to be going back and highlighting all the details. So I think that will work out just fine. Really sharply contrasted light to dark. I'm actually going to let that dry a little bit. So now I'm going to use Teardown Turquoise Contrast with my Klinsky Masterclass and get all these bits. For that tail, I guess guess the bottom part will be Ultramarines Blue. And the inner spines. And then we'll continue with more turquoise just on the spines. I'm just going to use Contrast Black Templar on his little bit of clothing. I don't want your eye to be drawn to it, so I just want it to be black and grungy. Alright, next we want to do the metal of the sign, and yeah, his little bracers on his legs are going to be metal as well. So I'm just going to do all of that. Steele, Vallejo, and yeah, we're going to do it on the chain around his neck, on this stop sign, or hazard material sign, something like that, and on the bracers on himself, and the strappings holding on the bracers. I'll just do the Black Templar. I want the eye to be drawn right to the model. Then they go, oh, he's holding a sign. If I do it too brightly, the eye will be drawn right to the sign. And then it'd be, oh, it's held by a model. Not quite the effect I want. So must choose wisely what color I want. I was thinking red or orange, but that would really come out. Maybe I'll do a green. So originally I think that's supposed to be like a rock, a thing of concrete, or, you know, some sort of rubble. But, you know, because I'm doing this all ice themed, I'm gonna make it into a block of ice. That's right, he took this thing right out of the ice. Haven't decided whether I'll do this front spike, either icy or like these guys. I haven't decided yet. I'll figure it out. After I do some more highlighting, I'll find out what color I want him to be. Right, so it's wet, so you probably can't see much definition yet, but he's coming along. Next I'm going to do this ice chunk. That shall be a mix of Vallejo Mecha Sky Blue, 2 parts Vallejo Mecha Sky Blue, 2 parts that turquoise, which was Pterodon turquoise, and 1 part Space Wolves Grey. And that, just getting the little pieces of rebar, I guess, sticking out of it. There. Now we just let that dry. I think I might actually go white on this. So I'm doing it over with the Steele, and then I'll put a white paint over it, or whichever I decide when I actually decide what it is that I'll be doing. Alright, now for highlighting. I shall be using Vallejo Game Color Glacier Blue and Vallejo Mecha Sky Blue, and just a mix of those two to start. And it is going to be watered down to the consistency of one of the contrast paints. And I'm going to plop it on there. Plop. Don't want it in any of the crevices, so if you accidentally get it on a crevice, grab a brush. Oh, a damp brush, and let the damp brush scoop it away. As you can see, I'm not attempting to mix it in at any point. I'm just plopping it on there. As it is kind of drying, I'm bringing it out a little bit. I don't know what this technique would be called. I'm calling it my plopping technique, where you have like more than you need on your brush, and it just plops out because it's wet paint. Now, I think that's as much as I can get done with the larger one. Now with the smaller one, I'm going to continue the plopping technique. You're just getting the portions of his muscle that are pointing upward without getting in any crevices. Must not get it in crevices. Don't think I'd call this a wet blend, really, because you're putting something wet on top of something dry. Once all your plopping for this first layer is done, you let it dry. The next level is to do that mix again, and then mix it with an even part of white. 2 parts white. I just used Vallejo Pure White Mecha, 1 part Sky Blue and 1 part Glacier Blue, and again you want to wet it down to the consistency of a contrast paint. And continue plopping method. However, this time your plopping is going to be leaving a ring of the previous one, so your plopping is more central to the very top. It's not going to extend as far. You're going to plop in in the middle of all the pieces that you previously plopped in. Right. There he is after much plopping. And more definition to his face. Now before I add any more icy effect to his skin, I think it is time to dry brush some. So I'm going to dry brush this until it looks like ice, and then probably put a gloss over it. And then I'm going to dry brush the spines to bring them out more, and dry brush his tail spines. So I am just going to go Glacier blue plus the pure white to even mix for a dry brush on this icicle chunk of ice. There we go. And as dry brushing goes, you rub it all out. And I think downward from the top of the ice will work. Focus. I won't touch the bottom at all with the white dry brushing because that'll really add to the, I think, the ice effect, since it's really reflecting off its surroundings and there's no light hitting it, much light hitting it from the bottom. Right, easy peasy. Now I'm going to just use pure white for the second layer of dry brushing. When that's dry, I'm going to put a gloss over it to make it look like it was made out of ice. And I might dry brush it, the pure white again, so it's like ice that's been chipped off and snow added to it and whatnot. We shall see. With that done, I am now going to use Ahriman Blue by Citadel for the dry brushing of his spines. I say it would be 3:1 Sky Blue to Ahriman Blue. I'm painting his tongue Ahriman Blue, since that seems to fit. And while it's wet, I'll just add a touch of the sky blue with a mix of white right on the top, towards the tip, for some highlighting. Now we're going to do that sign. Let's see. Let's see what dry brushing white on it does for it. I think before we go any further, I'm going to put a base on this guy and see what he's like once he's based, and see if I need to do anything more. I need to get my snow. Alright, so we have our texture Valhalla Blizzard by Citadel, and we've got our texture spreader. And I'm just going to fill his base up with snow. I think the snow would be a great contrast. Bring out his blues. So, we'll find out. I think it will. Alright, so his base is covered in snow, I will complete the look by just painting the rim white when it's all dry, and I added a gloss varnish all over the chunk of ice to make it look icy. And now I'm going to attempt to bring up that color even further by using just our good old plopping method of white, just the pure white by Vallejo, just towards the center of each of these, just like before, closer to the center of each of the lighter spots for some highlight. Bringing it up even further towards white. And when I finish that and give this this one a dry brush of just white when it's done drying, I think that'll be it. I'll be happy there. Alright, so he is all done. There was one last thing that I did. I used some gray just to emphasize the black on his clothing, and I used a little bit of that sky blue to just blend out a little bit. Just some more of my plopping method. And then he's done. I will be doing all of my Aberrant. I think I like it so much, I think I'll be doing my whole Tyranid army once I get that on the go started with it. Well, if you liked the video, give us a like, and if you'd like to see more painting videos, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks! Bye!